Hey guys, so we're working at home in Oregon today. Tractor set up with a pump. We have agri applicators back with their injecting rig, doing about 25 more acres that we want to plant corn in next week. So while he's doing that, I'm gonna work at home on box manure. We use the 6S180 again. The new heifer barn still needs cleaned out. I never got the spreader unloaded from when it started raining last week. Pen is getting full. Manure's building up to the bottom of the gates. Might be a little bit hard to open some of them. So as you guys know, we had big ceiling fans put in this barn. We put 2 down on that end where the bigger heifers are. That's where they use more bedding, just to help dry that bedding out. Yeah, we've been extremely happy with these fans. Now that they're running, most of the time it's getting warmer. This bedding's just stayed dry. We haven't even put any wood shavings in any of these oldest 5 pens for about a month now. You can see it's still dry in here. It's incredible. These first 3 pens get messy. We had to put bedding in these. Then starting there, fan reaches it and keeps it drier. So the company that put the fans in was Auto Vent LLC. I can put the link to their website in the description under the video. Tires are starting to squeal a little bit more. Once they start getting bald, they make more noise when you're spinning with them. We usually run tires as long as possible, so I think these still have a little bit more life to them. Figured I better grab my camera before I break it. So there's no floor in the front of the spreader. So about a front third of the floor moves back with that pusher. So it kind of gets that whole pile moving, and then once it gets to the back, the floor will stop moving and the pusher will keep going. This tractor's definitely a lot quicker than our John Deere's and takes the bumps a lot better. Hey guys, I want to make a really quick announcement. We have new merch available on the website. So we got this green t-shirt with a new design on it, and we also have, kind of hurts to run. I think I pulled my hip flexor playing softball last night. The same logo t-shirt, just in the blue. So check them out. I really appreciate the support. I'll put the link in the description. Moving on with the video. want to start backing inside of the barn. Just want to make sure it's actually going to fit in there. Tractor's a little taller than my other ones. Those little globes are sticking up pretty high there. I don't know if that's going to work. I didn't think it was going to work, and then I realized you can actually turn those globes down so they don't stick up, so it's not a problem. This fan sheath controls the speed that the fans run. It's got a thermometer on there, so you can set it to turn on at a certain temperature and then ramp up to top speed. That's nice, we don't have to worry about turning them on and off, and still run them real slow when it gets cold out. We're about halfway through the barn. Seems like they like laying under the fan there. One thing I like is the manure is going to be a better quality fertilizer. There's just less wood shavings in there. This is pretty much just pure dry manure. We haven't been rototilling this, although I think it would help if we would rototill it sometimes. Just start underneath and then it'll dry the top out good. So might have to get back into rototilling it. So he's working at that field around the bunker silos, and then he's going to do the field that I'm spreading in, which is at the end of the lane. I'm kind of cleaning this wall as I go down through. It's a little bit annoying with the gates, not too bad. So this door is going to be to open up to our pasture. With grass growing here, seeded more grass out there. The line down there where we planted corn. We have a company lined up to come in and put a fence around. We'll have a section for the dry cows and a section for heifers. We're going to run out this door. So plan is we're going to just let these last 3 pens all run together in the summer. They can all use this doorway to go out. It's going to be really nice. So I just about have this 3-corner field covered with dry manure. And he's heading down the lane. He's going to start putting the liquid in now. That lane is dusty. slicing it in. Thing seems to do a good job. The front suspension is really nice. That takes bumps. You barely can feel a bump in the front wheels. The back wheels you can still feel a little bit though. It has the cab suspension, just kind of gets to rocking a little bit. I know you can adjust the tension on those shocks and the cab suspension. There's an adjustment here. It's definitely nicer than any tractors we have. One thing I gotta do is make sure I don't park underneath these fans. So I'm kind of thinking there's no use we put fresh sawdust down underneath this end of the barn. It'll stay dry with the fans on. So I'm gonna save a section of the driest stuff right here. A little more moisture towards the end. We got rainwater that blew in and up front. We'll get that all cleared out. And then I'll spread this out over the ground. I think that might just work. So I did want to make a correction. Agri Applicators was here last time when they were injecting, and I said that they build the injection equipment. They actually just sell it. It's Bazooka equipment. That's what that injector is. Seems to work really well. It's got two discs that kind of open the ground up, drop some manure in, and then closes it again. So yeah, they deal Bazooka products. I did want to make that correction. So that field there had been injected a month ago, and I'm gonna see how that corn does, if there's more nitrogen in the ground or what we think of it. Should be the last spreader load. Got a dust storm going out here. So I'm just spreading the rest of this stuff out. Dad's putting wood shavings at the younger end. My dad's gonna open all those gates back up. I'm gonna clean up this pile. A couple months ago, if you remember, I piled this here out of the special needs pen. The idea was to rebed it in this barn after letting it sit. Seems to have taken on more moisture. We had it covered, but it's pretty wet stuff. Probably good fertilizer, but not good bedding. It's kind of interesting. I scooped into it. Huh. So it's like all the moisture went to the outside. This was all one consistency at the beginning. The stuff on the inside here is really warm and dry. You can see that line right there. So maybe it would have been good bedding. So he got it all done. Got the acres covered, so we'll probably try and plant this next week if we get some good weather. How's it going, guys? So today's May 31st, and we're hoping today to be able to finish up planting corn for the year. Just have 25 acres on this triticale stubble. We had them come in and inject manure last week. Now we have a guy here with a Salford vertical tillage tool, just smoothing it out a little bit. You can see with the injector, got these slices and some bigger clumps of dirt. So we want to get those broken up and smoothed out a little bit. Should be able to plant into that really nice. He already has one field done, so I'm gonna go hook the corn planter up. Sprayed soybeans yesterday. So now we gotta switch the tractor over again. We're getting toasted soybeans delivered into that bin on the end there. So here's our starter fertilizer. It's got some micronutrients in it. It's supposed to help the seed get going. It's gonna be running through this squeeze pump. Just comes out of the seed firmers right there on top of the seed. I'm gonna start in this field right across the road. We got soybeans in this field right beside it. See, they're coming up. Should look a lot nicer in another week. I just sprayed that triticale there, so it'll die off. So we want to see the seed trench closing up. These are the closing wheels, so it's slicing the seed in there, and then they're pushing the soil back over it. Want to have good seed to soil contact so that it can get the nutrients it needs and take off. 2 1/4, I guess, maybe. I would say the seed depth looks good. Guess we'll go ahead and run. I can't necessarily just keep the settings the same from when we were planting earlier, because planting into this triticale stubble is a little bit different. It's a little tougher. I got the first field done. I just noticed my one row acting weird though as I want to start this field, so I gotta check this now. Just missing a bolt right there. Just one bolt missing. For whatever reason, decided to break or fall out. Well, I should have more in the shop. So I'll try to drop it down and see if that hole lines up. I can't really get it right now. Seems like there's potential that that unit could be running a little off. I don't know if this lower piece is bent. I know we had to replace one of those one time. It's not really obvious. It's mid 90s and humid today. Brutal. So I'm playing right beside the bunker silos, and I guess our streak is gonna end. Each of the last 2 years, I had the chopper run right along the bunk and shoot the silage in, but this year it's not gonna work out. This silage is gonna be going in the far bunk. That far bunk is still full of silage. It's only gonna get about half empty, and then we're gonna put these last bit of acres in there. It'll be the last corn we chop. I'm ready for some more corn seed. There's a new variety of BMR that Brevant is coming out with. It's just we were able to get a partial bag for 1 acre to try. Our dealer wanted us to plant some of that just to see what it looks like this year. So I'm going to be splitting this bag across all 6 and then trying to do a nice plot out here behind the barn. It just makes it a slight bit more work for me, but it will be interesting to see how it looks compared to what we're normally growing. So I'm just finishing up this 3-corner field. I have a tiny little bit left. I'm very close to being out of corn seed. I got a little bit left in this bag that I can fill any of them if they get empty here. Just the tiniest little bit left. This is the field we were spreading that box manure on the other day. Turn it around for the last time. Just got a 20-foot long row to run here. Done. Corn is in the ground. Yep, well, that's a good feeling. We got the first field that we planted over here and then the last field right here. Almost a month apart, 4 weeks apart. The last of the corn planting always goes slower just because I'm usually mixing and matching different varieties and trying to not end up with extra corn seed.